what are the main differences between the Scandinavian kingdoms of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden? If you are curious about the unique characteristics of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, you are in the right place. Let us explore the fascinating history and distinct features of these Scandinavian kingdoms. First, let us talk about their historical formation. In the 9th and 10th centuries, these regions began to coalesce into kingdoms. Norway was unified under Harald I Fairhair, while Denmark was united by Gorm the Old and his son Harald I Bluetooth. Sweden's consolidation is less clear, but Erik the Victorious and his son Olaf Skirtkonung are credited with establishing the royal line by the end of the 10th century. One significant event that shaped these kingdoms was the Kalmar Union. Formed in the late 14th century, this union brought Denmark, Norway, and Sweden under a single monarch. However, each country retained its individual policy-making councils and distinct identities. This union lasted until the early 16th century, when Sweden revolted and gained independence under Gustav I Vasa. Language is another key difference. Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish are North Germanic languages and are mutually intelligible, especially when written. However, Faroese and Icelandic, spoken in the Faroe Islands and Iceland respectively, are not mutually intelligible with these languages. In Finland, the primary language is Finnish, a Finno-Ugric language, although there is a Swedish-speaking minority. The Reformation also had a different impact on each country. In Denmark and Sweden, the Reformation led to the establishment of Lutheran state churches, with the monarchs confiscating Catholic church property. This helped centralize power and diminish the church's political independence. Norway followed a similar path, but had a more complex transition due to its union with Denmark and later Sweden. In terms of governance, Norway had a long history of being ruled by other countries. It was under Danish rule for 434 years, followed by 91 years of Swedish rule, until it gained independence in 1905. This period influenced Norwegian culture, particularly in rural communities where folk art traditions and natural elements are prominent in design. Sweden and Norway had a unique arrangement after the Treaty of Kiel in 1814. Norway was ceded to Sweden but maintained a significant degree of autonomy, including its own constitution and government. This personal union lasted until Norway declared its independence in 1905. Denmark, on the other hand, retained more autonomy during historical conflicts, such as the German occupation during World War II. Denmark was treated more leniently by the Germans due to their shared Nordic heritage and the lack of significant German interests in Denmark. In contrast, Norway faced harsher treatment, with the German occupation eliminating opposition parties and imposing martial law. In summary, the differences between Denmark, Norway, and Sweden are rooted in their distinct historical formations, linguistic variations, and governance structures. Each country has its unique cultural and historical identity, shaped by their individual paths through the centuries.